Hey guys, it's Rift here. So Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out this Friday, and I figured that what better versus battle to make than by putting two of the biggest monsters in the live-action Spider-Verse against each other. We're putting Lizard from the TASM universe versus Sam Raimi's Venom from Spider-Man 3, as I think that these monsters are pretty underrated and don't get the love they deserve. With that being said, let's get started. Starting things off with Lizard, this guy is an absolute powerhouse and is a threat to any of the three live-action Spider-Men. In his multiple encounters with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, he was able to ragdoll him effortlessly and sometimes not even break his stride whilst doing so, with Tom needing the element of surprise or Ned's portals in order to get the advantage against Lizard. With Lizard being comparable to the No Way Home versions of Andrew and Tobey's Spider-Man respectively, as he was able to pin Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man down for a decent period of time, and he was able to contend with Tobey in their fight. Nevertheless, this is very impressive scaling for Lizard since he's able to contend with the No Way Home version of Tobey, and it's confirmed multiple times in the Raimi trilogy that Tobey's Spider-Man just grows much more powerful with age. At the end of Spider-Man 2, when Tobey returned as Spider-Man, he was confirmed to be more powerful than he was in his first film. And when Peter worked alongside Harry Osborn's Goblin at the end of Spider-Man 3, they were able to contend with Sandman and Venom, who were described to have unparalleled power. Meaning that yes, it's pretty obvious that Tobey got more powerful in his solo films, yet Lizard is able to brawl with the No Way Home version of Tobey, which is very impressive scaling for Lizard. In terms of speed, Lizard was shown to be comparable, if not flat out faster than Tom's Spider-Man, who was shown to be comparable to the other live-action Spider-Men in terms of speed, as all of them were capable of reacting to Electro's electricity blasts. Despite what his appearance may suggest, Connors is actually very intelligent in his Lizard form, as he's capable of operating Oscorp machinery, and his knowledge of chemistry is still something he can use in combat, as he can create explosives with chemical formulas. He's also shown to be very cunning in combat, as he's able to get the drop on all three Spider-Men at multiple times in No Way Home. However, Lizard's healing factor is the main thing that he is bringing to this fight, as it honestly is on another level to pretty much every other character in the Spider-Verse. He's able to regrow missing appendages in a matter of moments, even when they've been subjected to liquid nitrogen. He's also just incredibly durable and resilient, as the Spider-Man's attacks do little to Connors other than annoy him. He's also fireproof, and there's basically nothing that can stop the guy. In TASM 1, Lizard did have a very exploitable weakness, that being the fact that he can't fight for long periods of time, as the Lizard formula will eventually wear off and turn him back into a crippled human man. However, in No Way Home, this seems to be no longer the case, as he was able to stay in his Lizard form for well over the span of a day, meaning that he could potentially fight for way longer now, before reverting back to his human form. And keep in mind that Lizard is stated and shown in TASM 1 to grow much more powerful over time, meaning that long drawn out fights would actually play to his strengths, as he would just grow much more powerful as the fight goes on. Overall, Lizard is a powerhouse and would be a tricky opponent to put down, even for characters that are flat out stronger than him. But how would he fare going against an actual alien from the Raimi trilogy? Topher Grace's Venom was one of the more disappointing aspects of Spider-Man 3, however there's no getting around the fact that he's one of the most powerful villains in the trilogy, and with the new No Way Home metas, he gets even stronger. For starters, Venom was shown to be blatantly superior to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man during the events of Spider-Man 3, which should very well confirm the fact that Venom would scale above characters like Doc Ock and Green Goblin, since even a fatigued, weakened Tobey could keep up with Doc Ock, and Green Goblin in Spider-Man 1 referred to Spider-Man 1 era Tobey as being all but invincible in comparison to himself, with Goblin also implying that Tobey would be capable of stopping him, and Venom is able to blatantly outclass Spider-Man 3 era Tobey, and would have killed him at multiple points in their fight if he hadn't been joking around and if Harry hadn't saved him. And keep in mind, this would also upscale Topher Grace's Venom to be more powerful than Tom Holland's Spider-Man, since Tom Holland's Spider-Man, even when he wasn't pulling his punches, struggled to overwhelm Green Goblin, and even in their final fight when he was no longer holding back as well as going for the kill, Goblin was still able to press him. And this is consistent since Harry Osborn's Green Goblin in Spider-Man 3 is stated on multiple occasions to not only be physically superior to Norman, however he also has better tech and equipment, yet Venom is able to overwhelm him multiple times with relative ease, with Goblin's attacks not doing any permanent damage to Venom. He also got right back up after an attack from an enraged Sandman, and keep in mind that these attacks were able to put Tobey's Spider-Man on his ass earlier in the film, cementing the fact that yes, he is debatably the most powerful character in Spider-Man 3, outside of Sandman obviously in his giant form. In terms of speed, Venom would obviously upscale from characters like No Way Home Tom Holland, as he was shown to be comparable to Green Goblin, with Venom blatantly outclassing multiple characters who were confirmed to be more powerful than Green Goblin. So yeah, I think that speed-wise, the No Way Home metas would also apply to Topher Grace's Venom. He's a very dangerous fighter, often relying on the element of surprise as well as stealth to get the drop on his opponents. Made all the more dangerous by the fact that he has all of the same abilities as Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and he can also negate his spider sense due to the symbiote being attached to him earlier in the film. His webbing is also very durable, as whilst Tobey is able to break individual strands of the webbing, he has to basically go all out in order to do so. That being said, his webbing's durability is kind of inconsistent, as Harry Osborn's glider is able to destroy many strands almost effortlessly, and the webbing can't even support the weight of heavy trucks for a long period of time, so there are a few anti-feats going against the durability of the webbing. Despite Venom being a powerhouse, however, he does have glaring weaknesses that characters can exploit. Just like symbiotes in the comics, he is very susceptible to sound waves, as they're able to render him useless in a matter of moments. He's also very weak to fire, as a single pumpkin bomb was able to completely kill the symbiote. However, due to Venom's insane raw power, as well as the fact that he has all of the same abilities as Tobey's Spider-Man, taking him out of the fight and exploiting his weaknesses is something that most characters would be unable to do. So who wins this fight? Well, it's kinda complicated. When I went into this fight originally, I thought that it was actually a very close scenario, and in many ways, it is. They're both very animalistic, there's similarities in their fighting styles, they have very impressive healing factors, and they're some of the most imposing villains that their respective Spider-Men have fought. That being said, there are some differences that ultimately will decide the outcome. In terms of raw physical strength, both characters are absolute powerhouses, as they're able to overwhelm Spider-Man multiple times in their respective fights. That being said, Venom is kinda limited to the Spider-Man 3 era for strength, as whilst yes, he's able to overwhelm Tobey's Spider-Man, Tobey was still able to contend with him, and when he got his infamous rage boost in the final battle, he was shown to be able to overwhelm Venom. Compare that to Lizard, where he's able to ragdoll Tom Holland's Spider-Man with ease, pin down Andrew's Spider-Man for a long ass time, and even contend with the No Way Home version of Tobey in strength. With No Way Home Tobey logically being massively above Spider-Man 3 era Tobey, since he's consistently implied in his films to get more powerful with age. Meaning that I do think Lizard is stronger than Venom, although it's a lot closer than I initially thought. Through various scaling chains, you can get Topher Grace's Venom to the No Way Home metas in speed, and with Lizard, obviously you can do the same due to him being comparable to the No Way Home versions of the respective Spider-Men. So yeah, I think that in terms of speed, they are so fucking similar that it won't make any difference. Once again, in terms of intelligence and combat skill, I think they're basically the same. Whilst Connors is obviously more intelligent than Eddie Brock, I do think that they are very similar in terms of their combat skill, as they both rely on stealth and also ambush their opponents, meaning that they're about the same in that regard. However, from here at least, I think there are a few factors that are working against Venom and are very much in Lizard's favour. For one, we have durability, as Connors is basically unstoppable even for the No Way Home Spider-Man, as all they can really do is keep him at bay and restrain him, with their attacks being relatively ineffective. However, Spider-Man 3 era Tobey was clearly shown to be able to hurt Venom with his attacks, even if he wasn't on Venom's level of strength, meaning that I think Venom's durability is kind of working against him here. In addition to this, Lizard's healing factor is way better, as he's able to regrow missing appendages in a matter of moments, even when they've been subjected to liquid nitrogen. That and the fact that he doesn't have any exploitable weaknesses means that Venom is fighting an uphill battle. There's also the fact that Venom is nothing new to Lizard, as he's been able to fight all three live-action Spider-Men and he's done pretty well, meaning that Venom, another combatant who has similar abilities to Spider-Man, will be nothing new to him. Compare that to Venom, where he's only fought Spider-Man and Harry Osborn's Green Goblin, meaning that he's never fought a character who is actually willing to kill him like Lizard. There's also the fact that whilst Lizard holds a slight physical advantage over Venom, there's also the weaknesses to take into consideration. Venom's best hope against Lizard is if he can draw the fight out long enough for Lizard to eventually revert back into Curt Connors, However, in No Way Home, he was able to stay as the Lizard for well over the span of a day, and Venom has no stamina feats to suggest that he could fight Connors for a day straight. And remember that Connors would naturally be growing stronger as the fight goes on. On the other hand, Lizard is very intelligent, and if he suspects that Venom is weak to fire or has any weakness to or intolerance to sonic vibrations, he's going to exploit that weakness pretty quickly and render Venom useless. Tobey's Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3 was able to physically tear Eddie away from the symbiote, meaning that Lizard should be able to do this as well, as he was shown to be comparable to No Way Home Tobey in strength. I honestly don't see Venom's webbing doing shit to Lizard either. If Tobey's Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3 was able to eventually destroy individual strands of it, then I think Lizard should do the same, considering he's able to consistently tear apart large quantities of Andrew Garfield's webbing. Especially as Venom's webbing is kind of inconsistent, as many strands of it were incapable of supporting the weight of MJ as well as the truck for a decent period of time. However, it's shown in TASM 1 that individual strands of Andrew's webbing would be capable of supporting the weight of commercial airliners, meaning that you could honestly argue that Andrew's webbing is as durable as Venom's, with Lizard being able to tear apart massive quantities of the stuff. In the end, when you break this fight down, I did see it being very close initially, but Lizard basically has the advantage in every single regard. Venom has exploitable weaknesses that Lizard would be able to make do with, and Venom would be incapable of exploiting the one weakness that Lizard has. There's also the fact that Lizard is basically unstoppable and will be able to regenerate from all of Venom's attacks. The fight is definitely closer than I initially thought it was. However, when you look at everything objectively, it's pretty clear that Lizard is winning against Topher Grace's Venom. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Consider subscribing to the channel and becoming a channel member for as little as £1 a month. And if you want to chat to us outside of videos, consider tuning into live streams every now and then, as well as join the Discord, link is in the description. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.